This conference will now be recorded.
So hi Farhad and you guys so my name is Arvind Prasad. Okay, so I have been working in IT since 5 years. So I just wanted to ask Farhad and Yogesh, do you have experience in web protocol and LR earlier?
Yeah, actually, for me, I did in Kubernetes. I did some like last few years I used to client, but I think I just the reason I came taking this course I just wanted to learn more deep into the client, not like basic scripting, like not like something like survival, or I just wanted to learn like more or like more deeply on the client.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I've been
And
working in the
Yogesh?
London for like
Yeah,
last
Farhad.
6 months.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Thanks. And Yogesh, do you have?
Yeah, I have some basic idea about the web protocol and not the True Client. I'm new to True Client, completely new.
Mhm.
And I have one doubt: is True Web and True Client both are same or what?
No, no, it is completely different. Like True Web and True Client is different.
Oh,
Yeah.
so what? True Client is something related to Ajax, Web Ajax protocol or something.
Yeah, yeah. So earlier it was Ajax, but now all the applications are getting built on JavaScript, right? So now this is a true client.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
earlier when it was on Ajax, so what was that? Wasn't it JavaScript which was used or?
So Ajax was the so Microsoft initially launched the Ajax Click and Support. Okay. So it was just like, but now they have enhancing, and they converted that to the true client script. Okay. Yeah. So this is like it is used for web-based application, mobile web-based application, and the current JavaScript-based applications. So now you cannot see the Ajax protocol in the LR. So we can see we have true client, we have true web, and all those things, but not Ajax yet. Because the objective that was meeting by the Ajax can be met by true client itself, adding other enhancements as well. So now here is so now we are going to start our session, right? So this is the PPT I have made just for introductions and all. So here, so
I
like,
think you can share your screen.
okay, okay, sorry, so I have not shared my screen. Yeah. So Farhad Yogesh, this is the PPT. So it is saying like, as we know, it is a browser-based virtual user generator that supports web, mobile, and modern JavaScript's web application. So if we go to the, if I open the Vision, okay, and when I click on new scripts and solutions, here we can see we have three options. Okay, so we have True Client Mobile Web, we have True Client Native Mobile, and we have True Client
Yeah.
Web. So these three protocols we have. Okay, so we are going to discuss in details about the True Client Web. True Client Mobile Web will be a bonus for you guys because it is very similar to the True Client Web. Okay, so now, so we have three. So in LR we use three protocols to simulate the load from the mobile, or for the simulation of load for the applications and the browser-based activities. So for Farhad, if you remember, like why you used True Client protocols in your application, if you remember.
Oh, actually, there are no like there is some like in the web protocol like there's a like there's sometimes like it's really hard to find for the correlations part. Sometimes it is not a easy correlate. So in
Hmm.
that cases like we try to find like no like there is some one application like in the very beginning like 4 or 5 years
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
So you're having some problem with the correlation part like it's nothing is like we have to do it like these things in it. So that time we try to find out like we search in the Google and what how to do like then
Hmm.
somehow we find out like there is another protocol called Hooklight. So then
Hmm.
we tried on TrueClient, it is working, but TrueClient that time we did not have enough license. And then after
Hmm.
that, the next year budget, like we asked our director, like, we asked our manager, is there any way we can get the license to the TrueClient? Then this is
Yes,
the way
yes.
we started the TrueClient. Then after that, yeah, we start. So yeah, we start sometimes we start using the TrueClient because like there are a lot of applications there. Like it's like there is especially the single page applications is good. Like it's not easy to like like in the TrueClient it can easy to like do like when it's the application is single page, right? It does not move to the page. It's everything within the page, right? So that time it
Hmm.
is easy to like to client we can put the like some verification point so that you can as
Hmm.
soon as like this things came. So those things like verification things like putting the like kind of checkpoint and stuff is like more easy in TrueClient. So we
Hmm.
start like regularly start using the TrueClient after that. Only the problem is that TrueClient we find out that it does not we cannot run more number of users in the TrueClient. Like we had to have like to run the good number of the user. We need to have a like good number of like load generator. Otherwise, it
You
is
need
take
a
too
good
much time.
infrastructure, okay,
We
to
need good
run the
infrastructure.
yeah, we need a good
To plan.
infrastructure.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So that
and
time
Yogesh,
then
why do you? Oh, yes, yes, Farhad. Yeah.
so then actually yeah, we should increase the number of the load generator, and then the with
Yeah.
good with like these configurations. Then we are
Yeah.
able to learn like run like good amount of the good number of user into protocol.
Hmm. Yes, correct, correct. Yeah, thanks. And Yogesh, why have you like tried to record any application using the True Client? You are new to True Client, right, Yogesh? Yogesh?
Uh, I'm new to TrueClient completely. I have never tried it.
Okay,
So
okay,
after this
okay,
training, I'll connect. Yeah.
okay. So
So
the
actually,
first
I'm
question we
looking.
are, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm
fine.
a job student on performance testing. So after this session, I think I'll have a good amount of knowledge on web and TrueClient. So that will help me in finding out the new one.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. So like first question is why we should choose true client protocols. So the most of the answers are given by Farhad, but again I'm repeating to Yogesh and you both have. So what happens now? The first thing is sometimes there are more and more activities happens at the client side. Okay, like JavaScript loading, JSON loading, and these kinds of DOM loading. So these activities are not being measured by the web protocol, because web protocol captures only the traffic oriented communications. It does not capture at the user level experience. Okay, so sometimes the ask is from the client that we have to measure the activities which is going at the client side as well. Okay, suppose you have one home page. Okay, there is a very big applications that contains a huge dashboard. Okay, so when you record that uh, transactions using the web protocol, the response time will become around 2 and 3 seconds. Why? It will just uh, capture the traffic response time, like when the service hit the response, hit the server and the response. So till that it will measure only that time. But if the requirement is you have to measure the time till the whole objects at the client side is loaded. Okay, so in that case we have to use the true client protocol. The second thing is sometimes for the few applications there are number of correlations. Okay, like if you talk about the Salesforce application, or if you talk about the SAP based applications, then in that case there are for the login itself there are hundred of correlations. So that takes much more time. So to maintain those scripts, okay, and to configure in proper way, it needs much time and more resources to do that testing. So if you go with the true client protocol, then it is easy. It is not easy, but it is easy as compared to the web protocol to simulate and to configure the script from the machine. It saves time. Okay. Now again, if we talk about true client protocols, so it is, we cannot say it is very easy. Again, it needs some expertise to record and replay the scripts. It needs expertise to perform different kinds of flows using the true client protocol. Now, any doubts as of now, Farhad and Yogesh? Please ask any questions, like if you want
Yeah.
to discuss more
So
and
actually,
more.
whatever you're saying that yeah, we face the same problem with the web client. So like
Hmm.
so this web HTTP, so that's actually so yeah, there is one application we had like where like there's a different tabs there, and like the thing is like when they run like in a different each tab we have like different kind of like information like coming from different
Hmm.
database, and it has to be upload. And
Hmm.
after the upload, then we have to go after the upload like all the map and everything, then we have to go for next steps. So when
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
run the web client, so automatically it's like when the even though the whole page is not loaded,
Uh,
it still is
Farhad,
going to one by
Farhad,
one by
sorry,
one by
sorry,
one.
Farhad, sorry. You guys, please listen the communication between me and Farhad so that you can understand why we are going with the true client protocol. Okay?
Yeah.
Because
So
try to understand what is like what we are discussing, me and Farhad. Later we will discuss in details, but like we also listen what me and Farhad are discussing. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah, Farhad, go again. Yeah, go ahead now.
yes, so in and that there's a lot of like every page they have a graph. There is collect is generate like different graph every tabs. So
Hmm.
that time like well, like the one guy is like he used to be expert of the OBS So he's doing the test and then he's saying that like done the like he passed the test, and then after that the client is saying that okay, nothing got like said how come you said this pass already passed. Like there's nothing, everything's under everything is hanging out. Nothing is like uploaded. So
Hmm.
then he come to me. What is can you what is can you like since you are yesterday using the TrueClient for like just for a few months, so can you check can you TrueClient? Then I find out okay, this is the problem. Like when you click on the tab, so like even though look like the like something uploaded, but it's still like all the like graph is not. There are like 4 or 5 different graphics there in the same one tab. So there are few graphics
Hmm.
already uploaded and uh, updated, and then one few graph is still like did not update. So we have to wait till like that particular all 5 particular graph is there. So for that like
Yeah.
we have to identify, we have to put the kind of verification point for the graph like who take like longer time. So that
Hmm.
this is the way like we just so that yeah, until this like graph is come, just wait, and then if this graph is come, then continue the next step. Next
Yeah,
step.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so you guys, we are discussing like why you opted for the true client protocol instead of LR. So don't worry, don't worry like about those things. You will learn a lot of things. Okay, but just listen the discussion that Farhad is saying. Okay, it will help you to like know why people go for the true client protocol instead of web protocol. Why the business opt for the true client instead of web protocols. Okay, so now the second thing is like here we see that uh, TrueClient is a browser-based virtual user generator that supports web, mobile, and modern JavaScript web-based applications. Okay, so here if you talk about web, means the TrueClient web protocol we are talking about. So we can record any kind of web-based applications, even any kind of complex web-based application we can record using the web protocols. Then mobile, so I have shown you like mobile. For mobile we have native mobile, and the second one is mobile web, TrueClient mobile web. So these two are used for the mobile simulation, and the second, and this one is modern JavaScript web based application. So if you say modern JavaScript web based application, so this it means, so there are lots of design, okay, in the UI, lots of uh, enhancements from the JavaScript level, like there is a dashboard loading, there is a document design, there is a dashboard design. Okay, so there's a table design, different kinds of tables design. So these all are the part of JavaScript. Okay, so when we say, so to record those activities in a proper way, we use the through client protocol. And one more thing, it is a power based automation tools used for automations, performance and monitoring. Okay, so when you learn the true client protocols, it does not mean that you have to do the performance testing only. Okay, so what happens in some applications, like what we performance tester do, before doing any performance testing, we check if the application is stable or not, right, Yogesh and Farhad?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we do, we first do the sanity test of the web-based application, like if it is working as expected or not. Suppose we have 5 business flow of any applications, then before doing any test, we confirm if the 5 business flow are working as expected. So what we can do, we can automate that 5 business flow using the true client protocols in a very easy and efficient manner. Okay, so we'll record 5 business flow, we'll put some checkpoints, we'll put verify, like we can do everything. If those 5 flows are passed, then we can say now these flows are stable, now we can run the test. Okay, so we can also do the automation using the true client protocol. Performance we are doing right now. Monitoring means to monitor the response time and all. Again, the third point is, it does not require correlation, but still it is required expertise. Okay, now why I'm saying, people say we don't have any correlation in the true client protocol, so why so anyone can learn? So the answer is, yeah, it is easy as compared to web protocol, but again it is required some expertise. So if you talk about web protocols, we have correlations, but in true client protocol we have different set of permutation and combinations for the object identification techniques. Okay, object ID, we have to play around the object identifications. Now again, here in this training, we will learn basic of the JavaScripts. Okay, so here there is a game of JavaScripts in the true client protocol. So we'll learn the basic of JavaScripts, like how we can random the string, how we can random the numbers, or how we can do the file operations, how we can write the capture value, how we can capture the value, and how we can write those value into some file. Okay, and how we can read the values from the file, how we can delete the file placed on any path. And then we also discuss about the virtual table server. These all are the some advanced topics that we are going to cover in our training. Okay, so we cannot say it is easy, but again it is very tricky. The true client protocol is very tricky. You have to very tricky when you configure the true client protocol for your business flow. So any doubts as of now, Yogesh?
No, I'm good now.
Yeah, the fourth point is, it provides more user experience from the end user related to traffic oriented measurements. So we have discussed earlier. So now the thing is, when if there is a requirement comes, like there is a home page or there is some other page. Okay, so when the user navigate from one page to another page, then we have to calculate the total loading page of total loading time of that page. Okay, so now in that case, the true client provides best experience in the terms of response time, like how much total time took to load the page. Okay, so again, if we simulate that activities using the web protocol, the response time will become around 2 seconds or 3 seconds, let's suppose. But if you record and calculate the response time using the true client protocol, the response time comes around 5 to 6 seconds. Okay, now why? Because true client measures the whole page loaded. Okay, it does not capture only traffic oriented, it captures the each and every objects to be loaded. So once they are loaded, then it gives the response time. Yeah, this is the response time. In this response time, the whole page is now loaded. The every JSON activities, every JavaScript objects are loaded. But if you talk about web protocol, it just captures the request that is going to the server and coming back from the server as a response. Any doubts as of now?
No. So, but what will be the SLAs for the TrueClient? Because we have seen that SLAs will be mostly from 2 to 3 seconds max. So if TrueClient is taking 5 to 6 seconds, then how it will be accepted?
Yeah, so the SL is like, okay, so good questions, Yogesh. So SL is not only about 2 to 3 seconds. Standard SL is so when you, it all depends on application. When I was working on the applications in my account, the will not believe the response time was coming around 32 seconds for a page. Okay, so now the business took it very seriously and they have fine tuned in so many layers. Okay, so if it is coming at more than 5 to 6 seconds, then it is not worry for you. Okay, you can report this like we are getting this much of response time to the for this space to the development team. For the business, they again fine tune and they will bring down till the accepted limit. Okay, so for the service it is 2 seconds, but for any page it is acceptable if it is go around 3 to 4 seconds.
Okay. But
Okay,
can we divide the response times at service level and the object loading level? Because if the client asks me that what is the time it is taking for a service to get the response, and what is the time taking for the complete page to load, so how can I divide the two? How can I get the accurate value?
So like from Chrome developer tool you can get the this much, you can differentiate the time. Okay,
Okay.
but like if there is like, suppose you ran the test with 40 users, 50 users. Okay, then in that case if they are asking, then it is not possible. Okay, so for one for one instance, for one activity, for one user, you can get this statistics from the Chrome developer tool. So
Okay.
again it is not worried about. So what happens now, before choosing any protocol, there is a discussion happen between the performance team. Okay, like why we are going with this protocol. So first observe the application, like how is this application, like which kind of application that you are going to record. So like we like, so the first thing, like if we are saying that, so first see the nature of the application, how is the applications. If the application can be recorded using the web protocol, there is no any such activities happening at the client side. Okay, then it's fine. Okay, if those kind of objects involved in this application, that we might go for the TrueClient protocol. Okay, or sometimes the business asks like we need end-to-end response time. Okay, so in that case we go for the TrueClient protocol. So again lots of discussion happen, so based on that we get the response time. Okay, so it's kind of automation. So if you are aware about Selenium, so what we do, we first navigate from one page to another page, then we calculate then we verify if the object is present on this page or not. Okay, so the same thing we are doing here. So it is like, so again the requirement comes like uh, uh, in such a way, like we have to calculate or we have to measure the uh, page related response time at the user level, more user level. Okay, so in that way, in that case we go with the TrueClient protocol.
Okay.
Okay, so as Fahad said na, like sometimes the page contains lots of correlations, so it is then in that case we also go with the TrueClient protocol. So again, like each and every page does not contain the JavaScript and other activities. Okay, if and there will be no any that much gap of a response. Suppose if you have any applications, the response time using web is coming 2 seconds, so there is a chances of response time coming as a 2 seconds from the TrueClient protocol as well. It depends. Okay, but now if your application contains lots of JavaScript, CSS, okay, those all things, that in that case it will take more time as compared to the normal applications. Now you got it?
Okay.
Okay, so it is not necessary that there is a difference between the response time using the web protocol and using the TrueClient protocols. I just give you an example. Okay, it might be the same, it might be the different, depends on the involvement of CSS, JavaScript, JSON and other objects pattern. Okay, Okay, so here now, what we are going to see. So here I'm going to so this is the vision. Okay, so now we are going to uh, record a basic flow. We are going to see here new script and solutions. Then we have TrueClient web. We have to select this one. Then you can give any name here. Then click on create. So now this is the view of the TrueClient protocol. So you guys, if you talk about the web protocols, then here we have options to record a script. Okay, to record here, and instead of record we have develop script options. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, so if you like, if you see the, if you if you see in the web protocols, we have record options. Now here we have develop script options. So to start the recording, there is a two mode. One is called user mode, and the second thing is called developer mode. So when we click on develop script, a developer window is opened. So in that, what we do, we paste the URL and then we record all those activities. So let me show you. So here we are clicking on the, here from this you can select the browser. Either it can be Chromium, IE or TrueClient browser. So these browsers are inbuilt in the TrueClient recording software. Okay, so now as of now I'm selecting the Chromium. Okay, now here we are clicking on the develop script. So first, like, we have developed script, then we have this is the options for replay, and this is the options for convert script to the web protocol. So once we have recorded the script using the TrueClient protocols, by clicking on this we can convert that scripts to the web protocol. Okay, so it is showing me convert script to the web HTTP HTML protocol. Now this is the comments on comment. So as of now we are clicking on the develop script. Okay,
So which version are you using? What is the version of the Loader artist?
Farhad, please come again.
And which version of the Loader are you using?
It's 12.60.
Okay.
And which one you are using, Farhad?
No, actually, I was using. Actually, I didn't use. I was not using it for like 6 months because my job got changed. So I was actually I'm not using the Loader app for last around 6-7 months. I was using like JMeter and some other tools.
Okay,
So
we're using Zmeter. Yeah.
yeah, actually, yeah, I used like I didn't use like for last 6-7 months. That's actually that's why actually at that time there used to be like on the Firefox, IE, and Chrome. Like I think
No.
they removed
Yeah,
the Firefox.
earlier it was Firefox IE and Chrome, but they have removed Firefox to the TrueClient browser. They have given their own inbuilt browser which supports all the applications. So it's similar like Firefox.
Yeah, we have whatever we need is like it's work like better in the Firefox rather than I think the info I don't know the input the Chrome was not working when they came the Chrome like they bring Chrome like from 12.5, right? Then like
It's
the when we started, yeah, that time it was not even working properly in the Chrome, and I don't know, probably the improved or next version or
okay. So Yogesh and Yogesh, for your knowledge, the latest version is 12.63 for the load runner. Okay. Yogesh, can you hear us?
Yes, I got it.
Yeah, so the latest version is for the LR is 12.63, but when you try to download the 12.63 version, it will be end up with downloading 12.60. Okay, so this time if you want to download the 12.63, you have to install some patch only. So go to the web, go to the MicroFocus, download the 12.60 application version. So in that version you have to download some patch from separately to make it 12.63. Okay, so this is the like funda. So now I am using 12.60, so you can also use 12.60, no issue. So you can simply download from the Micro Focus official website, and you can download the 12.60 version. Okay, so one more thing, Micro Focus always updating the true client protocol and the true web protocols at the very frequently as compared to other protocols. There is always updates coming for the true client protocol and true web protocol. So if you go to the Micro Focus official websites, or whenever a new version is coming out from the Micro Focus, so they always mention these enhancements they had been done for the true client protocol and true web protocols. Okay, so lots of enhancements are going for the true client protocols. Okay, so this is the developer mode. So yeah, so Yogesh, this is called true client developer tool. So we have two, we can say we have two windows. Now one is left and the second thing is right. So the left one we call is as a true client developer tool. So this is the true client developer tool, and this one is called application browser window. Okay, so this is the application browser window. So now if we go to the these many options one by one, we can see it is showing start recording, it is showing replay, it means this is for stop recording. Okay, and this is for save, this is the script levels. Okay, it is for search, undo and redo. Then we have these many few settings, we have convert to code, then we have transactions, then we have event handlers, then we have some settings, then we have snapshots. Okay, and here this is a init, actions and end. Okay, and this is the, if I go to this is the, it is help and about. So if you click on about, you are using the 12.60 version. Okay, now if I click on help, so it will open a new window where you can read the basics of true client protocols. So it will open this type, which is very useful. So you can start with the true client, learning true client protocol as well. Okay, so if you want to like study basics of like true client protocol, so this is the base material that you can refer. Okay, now I'm going to record the application using the true client protocol. So this is the first thing we are doing today. So now let's start the recording. So here I'm going to pick any demo sites. Okay, so it is showing me, so this is the status pane, it is showing me the load succeed, means the developer window is successfully loaded. So now I am going to start the recording. So click on start recording. So now we can see it is showing me recording. Okay, and here type the URL and or paste the URL. Okay, it all depends on you. Now copy, enter, click on enter. Okay, now I'm just creating a simple business flow. Click on register. Just write any name. So this is a very, so one more thing I would like to mention here. True client is interactive. Okay, so it means if we are recording any steps, we can see it is generating the corresponding steps in the developer tool window. Okay, so if here I'm typing in, if I'm here typing address 1, it is showing me type address 1 in the address text box. Okay, if I'm typing city here Pune, it is showing me type Pune in the city. Okay, so this is the interactive mode for the user generator. Okay, so whatever we are doing the actions, it is corresponding recording in that readable format. Okay, if I'm clicking, it will show as a you are clicking. If I am typing, if I'm double clicking, it will show everything in that manner only. it is image. Okay, you can put any now you can give the username. Then click on submit. So here it is showing click on register button. So whatever the steps will be acting, it will same generate the corresponding steps in that format. So now here the registration is successfully completed. So now I'm going to stop the recording. So now we have recorded our business flow using the TrueGrams protocol. So now here what I will do, I will stop the recording. Okay, so these steps we have recorded. Okay, any doubts, Yogesh, for this recording, how we can record?
Oh, okay, it's good now.
Yeah. So now, so we have recorded these steps from 1 to 23. So the first thing that we do after recording is what? We replay the business flow, right? So if the recordings happen at the same time, like, and the objects are at the place. Okay, so now here we can replay this. So here it is showing me navigate to this URL. So this is a step. This is the step. So let's expand this. Okay, so we have a step. So in the step, this we have actions, object timeout, step timeout, minimum time, and then we have end event. Okay, and then so in we have a step, we have arguments. In arguments we are passing the URL. Okay, and then we have transactions. So if so this is the one step. I will expand this step as well. Click on register. So this is step. Okay, so in step what is mentioned, actions, object timeout, step timeout, minimum time, end event, then we have arguments. Again it is the coordinates of this location of this object, then we have objects. Okay, so in objects we have highlight, we can highlight the object, we can replace the object. So let me highlight this object. Okay, so this is the object, right? So when I click on highlight, so it is highlighting the object. Okay, so for id method we have this much of automatic, okay, XPath, javascripts, and we have descriptors. So using this method we can capture the object by their id. Okay, so these are the id. So either so automatic is from the TrueClient protocols inbuilt. The second thing is XPath. Okay, so using XPath we can locate any objects on that page. Then we have JavaScripts. So using evaluate JavaScript we can capture the dynamic object or some other objects at their own place. So let's make it automatic. Highlight, then make it XPath. Okay, so this is the XPath for this object register. Highlight. Okay, if I make any change here, it will not highlight. Okay, because the XPath is not similar to the XPath of this object or on this page. Okay, so if it is not highlighting, means there's no any object with this XPath are available on this web page. Okay, so now in this case either we can write the proper XPath or we can replace the object. Okay, So replace the text object. So what we can do, just click on replace, then highlight the object. Just move your cursor to this object that you are wanting to highlight. Okay, click on register. So any doubts as of now, Yogesh?
No.
Okay, so these are the, so we have seen the XPath. So these are the ID methods by which we are locating the object on this page. Now we are going to the JavaScripts. So here for JavaScripts we use the evaluate XPath. So evaluate XPath, then a text equal to register. So we'll discuss more and more in details about the evaluate XPath in our coming sessions. Then highlight, so it is highlighting the object. So by default it will take the right object ID for the remaining elements. Okay, now you can also change this to descriptors. Again it is highlighting. Okay, so by default it will be automatic. Okay, depends on the complexity of the object locating, you can change the object ID from automatic to XPath. Okay, so let's suppose this is the UR, this is my object. So let me suppose you can replace this one. Your username is pttester00. Now highlight, so it is highlighting. So what will happen if it, so make it XPath. So we can see now highlight, so it is highlighting not this object. Now tomorrow there is a new user coming on this application and he is registering with some different user ID. So in that case it will be your username is something different. Okay, Arvind12 or Yogesh12 and Farhad12, any kind of object name this will be, right? The ID will be. So in that case it will not able to highlight the object. Why? Because it is selecting the XPath by the name text equal to, when the text equal to username is pttester00. Okay, now if there is a new registrations, then the name will be different, right? So in that case what we have to, in that case what we can do, in that case we have to select this XPath. So we have different kind of XPath as well. So this XPath means irrespective of the text we are highlighting the object by its locations, by its coordinates. Okay, see, now highlight, so it will highlight. So irrespective of the name of the user, it will be highlighting this object only. Okay, any doubts, Yogesh?
No.
So we'll do more and more hands-on, then it will be clear. So as of now we are just focusing on the basics only. Okay, so these are, so we call it steps, like 1 2 3 4. So these all are the steps. So in steps what we have, so in step we have step, actions, object timeout, step timeout. We'll discuss about these things later. What is the actions, what is object timeout, what is the step timeout, what is minimum time, what is in event. Okay, arguments, we have object. These all things we'll discuss one by one. So if it, so in if I expand this step, so in actions what we can see, in actions what this is mentioned as a which kind of activities you are performing on that object. So here click on register link. Okay, so now the action is click, or if we are typing, the action will be type. Okay, so now we can see there is a drop down in this actions. So let's expand this and see what all those things we have in the action in this list. Okay, so we have in action, we can see we have click, double click, drag to evaluate JavaScript, get properties, mouse down, mouse over, mouse up, press key. So there are lots of methods in the actions. Okay, so that we'll discuss one by one again. So it is not a concern right now. We are just doing the preference, like we are clicking, we are typing, these things we are doing on this page. So we are going to make it click. So now one more thing. So when we replay the script, the end events are not set. Okay, so when I go to the step, you can see end event automatic not yet set. Okay, here automatic event, go to the go to automatic not yet set. It is not yet set. So now the end events are very important in the TrueClient protocols. Okay, so now here the end events are not set, means when you want to say the step is completed, when the object found, see we have these many steps: action completed, step network completed, DOM content loaded, document loaded, dialog opened, object exist, and these things we have. Okay, so now TrueClient has its all algorithm to identify the expected end event for any step. Okay, so for this what we need to do, we need to replay the script. Okay, until unless will not replay the script, it will not capture the end events. Anyway, we can manually configure, but it is a best practice. So once you record the script, replay the scripts in order to capture the end event for that business flow. So here I'm just clicking on the replay. Okay, so now it will replay. So we can see it is so we can see it is performing the same action that we have. So now it is replay is going on. So now it is clicking on submit. Okay, so now the replay is successfully completed. Okay, you guys, and Farhad. Yeah, so the okay, so now like we have recorded and we have replayed the script. Okay, so now any doubts as of now?
No.
You guys,
No.
so you are new to the TrueClient protocol, so if any doubt comes, then just please ask. Okay,
Yeah, sure.
so as of now what we have done, we have just discussed about the basics of TrueClient protocol, why we use the TrueClient protocol, in which situation we opt for the TrueClient protocol. Then we have recorded one business flow on this demo sites. After so once we recorded, we replay the scripts in order to capture the expected end event. Okay, so here you guys, if you notice, the end event was automatic not set earlier, now it is automatic document loaded. Okay, so now it has captured the, you can see it has now the end event is something different than the previous one. Okay, because when we record, then it's first time it is showing automatic not yet set. Okay, to make it set, we have to replay the script so that by the algorithm of the TrueClient, the end event will be synced off accordingly. Okay, so now in each and every step you can see the end events are set, automatic action completed, then everything is set. Okay, so if you expand any object, you can see it is set. Okay, any doubts as of now? Now, so this is a step. Now we can see, so we can also replay the one step as well. Okay, so now suppose this is my script. Okay, so now I am going to pick any random step. Okay, and I want to replay only that step. I don't want to replay my whole business flow. So now what I want to replay, I want to replay any one step. So I'm going here, then type Pune city, just replay this. Okay, so if you want to debug your script, like suppose there is a there is some failures at the script level. If you want to debug that, you don't need to replay the script from the beginning till the end. In between, you can also replay the scripts for that object. Yes. So whenever, so if you are replaying the steps, that steps or that object of that step should be available on this page. Then only we can replay. You got this point, Yogesh? What I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. Suppose I am performing. Suppose I want to replay the step number 13. Okay. So in order to replay, you must careful that in application browser window, that object should be available. Then only we can replay. Okay. Suppose this is the type Pune city. So now go to the objects and highlight. Okay, it is highlighting. Now if you are on some other page, okay, now you are on this page and you will replay, it will fail because this object is not available on this page. Then how we can perform this activity, right? So the first thing is, you want to perform these activities, so you have to be on that page where the object is available. Okay, you guys, any doubts as of now?
No doubts with respect to the current session.
Yeah. So this way we can so now here type Pune, then you can, so if you want to type some other city name, then we have object, then we have in arguments we can change. If I make it any if I make it Hyderabad and replay, it will type Hyderabad. Okay, so we'll discuss again more like how we can parameterize these things also. Okay, so this is how we can record a simple business flow and how we can replay using the TrueClient protocols. Okay, so here, so these are the, so any doubts for the recording and replaying, right, Yogesh and Farhad?
No, you don't have that. So I think you can take over the mouse over steps, because which is like
Farhad, come again.
the second step, right? The mouse over, you can, I think normally it's when it is something like when you move your mouse, so it's also captured that the sometimes the two can capture like everything. Like one example, if you are like moving the mouse from one object to another object, that also got captured.
Farhad, I didn't get you, like
Oh,
your voice is,
the mouse over steps.
yeah, mouse over, na? Okay, this one, na?
Yeah, I think you can, yeah, those things you can if like you can remove also.
So like, so okay, so mouse over, so I will come on this point. So these are the, okay, so I will come on this point like later on. Like this is the,
Yeah.
it is not, see, so mouse over is, so mouse over is not always useful. Either you can disable this or you can enable this, depends on your
Mm,
activities.
yeah.
Suppose you are doing mouse over for displaying the list. Okay, if I go to the Flipkart, okay,
Yeah, those are different, but yeah, those things you have to have mouse over.
yeah, if I'm on Flipkart, okay, then I'm doing here mouse over. So if I'm doing mouse over here, it is showing me the list. Okay, so
Yeah.
in this case for me, mouse over is useful.
Yeah.
Okay, but now here when we record and when we do the mouse over on the screen, then the TrueClient captures and record as well. Okay,
Yeah.
so here we can remove this. Okay,
Mm.
Yogesh, are you getting this point?
Yes, I think it can be used wherever necessary. I mean, suppose if there is any mouse over to be done, and then some options come up, then we can use this option.
Yeah, like this one. If like if you are on the Flipkart site,
Yeah.
and where we are doing mouse over, I'm going to the main, just I'm putting my mouse here, it is showing some list. Okay, so in this case mouse over is useful. Okay, so but here it is not useful because there is no any activity that is going to, like, for the mouse over. So again, so here we can disable or we can delete this step. Okay,
Okay.
So when we record the flow using the true client web protocol, and so it also, like suppose I'm doing some mouse over, then it also got recorded. Okay, so in that case, once we recorded, we can delete this step or we can disable this step. So how we can so there's one more things, like how we can disable the steps. Either you can delete or you can disable. So here you can see it is the option of cross. Okay, you can see. So it is showing me disable, enable during replay. So it is now enabled because it is not highlighted. So if you want to make it disable, just click on this. Okay, so the steps is disable now. Okay, so when you replay the scripts, this step will not be part of the replay. Okay, so similar to this, you can disable or enable any kind of any steps. Okay, so go to type address one, so you can disable these steps as well. So here we have disable steps. Disabling means the script will not be a part of your replay. Okay, understood? So this is how we can record and we can replay using the web protocols. So here again, so now, so what we have done, so now this is the toolbox. I have not showed you. So we have toolbox. So here we'll discuss most of these things in the toolbox. We have verify. So we have three major things. Okay, Yogesh. We have functions, we have flow control, we have miscellaneous. Okay, so let's go one by one. So in function we have verify PDF content, wait for object, generic object actions, generic browser actions, generic API actions, call function. We can create the functions, we can call the functions as well. Okay, so these many things we have in the functions. We'll discuss one by one. I'm just introducing these many things to both of you. Then we have flow control, for loop, if block, if verify, if exist, if browser, break, continue, cache error, exist. These many things we have in the flow control. Then we have miscellaneous, evaluate JavaScript. Again, it's like suppose we can we write C language in the web protocol, right?
Yeah.
So in TrueClient, what we write some JavaScript codes to do some script enhancement and modifications. Okay, so that we'll see in our further session of the TrueClient protocols. Evaluate Java JSON object, see, comment, and NDOS. So these many things. So toolbox is the called heart of the TrueClient protocols. So this is the control system of the TrueClient protocol. So this is the control system. We say it as a control system of the TrueClient protocols. So in our coming session, we'll discuss about how we can parameterize our there are so many things like that we'll discuss. I hope you have gone through the contents. Okay, let me show you the contents. Isha performance testing. Okay.
Content, but actually, I have missed the second half of the demo session due to the internet connectivity issue at my end. So I didn't get this the course agenda and the time duration for this.
Okay. So let me show you the So Farhad and Yogesh, the duration is depends on you. Okay, so I will teach all those things to you. Okay, these many things like here we have. Okay, so we will cover all those things like Farhad and Yogesh, please take eyes on this. Introductions, then record replay, runtime settings, transactions, event handlers, parameterizations, these techniques, build functions, flow control, and miscellaneous function libraries, custom JavaScript. In this we learn basic JavaScripting, utilities, okay, dynamic table with TrueClient protocol, VTS integrations like virtual table server, okay, how we can install the VTS, how we can integrate that into the LR, tricks and tips. So there are so many things that we are going to discuss about the TrueClient protocols. So normally I take 12 class. Okay, so after also okay, so it all depends. If we are going good, then the sessions can be end up in the 12 sessions. I will ask you to record few business flow for any applications. Okay, if you can record, it is fine. So the thing is, like, until unless you are not feeling confident that you can record any application or you can
one
work
doubt
on the
actually.
project.
So actually,
Yeah.
the tool and
Yeah,
its features the tool and its yeah, the tool and its features. Will you tell something about the execution flow? How to work if the user number of users are 50? Then how to parameterize and what are what are the frequent issues that might come up if we use loader protocol in terms of execution?
Everything we'll discuss.
This some
Everything we'll discuss. Yeah, everything will discuss. Everything. There are more and more thing in the sessions. Okay, these are so these are introduction session, right? So we are going to discuss more and more. We have parameterization, correlation, transactions. Okay, event handlers, parameterizations. We have so many things. Okay, and then we create some 2 or 3 scripts. We run them into the controller. We see what errors we are getting, how to the scripts in the Fusion or in the controller. Okay, and then how we can analyze the results.
okay.
So we'll go from basic to
So
advanced. Okay,
how many users we can configure with respect to this? I mean, the downloaded version, the free version of the load runner.
50 we have, like till 50 users we can simulate. Okay,
And one last question. Actually, you said when there are more number of users, when there are less number of virtual users, and we can definitely opt for true client protocol. What is that maximum limit that we can opt for true client protocol? Let's say that if it is beyond 100, that it's better not to use true client, something like that.
see, it all depends. Or see, like I have ran my test with 500 users for the program protocols. Okay, because if your project is, so nowadays what happens now, nowadays many of the applications are migrating to AWS. Okay, so there is no any issue of the providing infrastructure, right? So now,
Okay.
like suppose you are working on some like suppose your application is hosted on some Linux server having this much configurations. Okay, so now if you talk about now it is providing infrastructure not challenging. So for like suppose like in my account I ran the test with more than 500 users. So what we have done, so they provided me 4 servers. Okay, 4 LGs having rich configurations from the LG side. So then for me like it went it was challenging, but it was not that much challenging because my project was able to cope up with the requirement of the LG. Okay, so nowadays most of the projects are able to provide that much infrastructures. Okay, but again uh, once they have provided the infrastructure, you have to know how we can, if your test is running as expected in the controller or not. So there are lots of issues might come regarding the object IDs or during the replay. You must know how to read the errors and how we can debug the script. Okay.
Oh, okay. You mean to say that the controller in the controller machine objects might display differently, and we may get identification issues.
Yeah. So like
Okay.
uh yeah, in web also we face some issue now. So in Troken we also face some issue like object loading and all. So those kind of issue might come in the control itself. Okay, so that we have to concern like how we can debug the errors, how we can check the errors. Okay, so that we'll see all those things in last. Okay, so we'll go. So I'm not like explaining very fast. We'll go one by one, very slowly till the whole like analysis and
Yes.
all those things. Okay, so we have so many things like in TrueClan protocols. So we'll go slowly. So now so today we are just wrapping the sessions as of now. Okay,
Sure.
so tomorrow we'll see parameterizations. Okay, how we can bound the transactions. Okay, and those all things we'll discuss one by one. So you guys, this is the developer mode. Okay, so let me close this window. So this is the developer mode. Okay, so now we have replayed the script, right? So let me close this. Okay, now open the Fusion. Have we clicked on no?
Not
Okay, no issue. Yeah, so like Yogesh, this is, so whatever you want to see in this mode, so this is the vision mode. Okay, so it is showing me, please note, this is a read only mode. Okay, so you cannot edit the script here. Okay, so come to your script. So you cannot configure the script here. So this is the vision mode. This is for read only mode. Okay, so whatever you want to change or modify, you have to switch to the developer mode, modify the scripts there, then come to the vision mode. Okay, so this is the way how we work in the TrueClient protocols. You got it?
Got it. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So this mode is only for read mode. You can replay here, but you cannot make any changes. You cannot modify. You cannot insert any JavaScript code or anything here. If you want to do some modifications, you have to switch to the developer mode, make some changes, click on save. Then once you click on save, you can see your scripts are recorded in the here. It will be like this. It will be like, okay. So this way you can okay. So this way like how we can work with the TrueClient protocols. So tomorrow we'll see how we can record. So now what we have done, we have recorded all those activities in the action flow. Okay, so tomorrow I will record in the same thing, like you can record in the init, in the actions, and the end part as well. Okay, like login in the init, and okay, so click on save it. Oh, it just got hanged up. Okay, no issue. So let me close the browser. Okay, so it is just good hanged up. No issue. We can see tomorrow again. So this is the way how we can record and replay. Okay, Yogesh. So try to record at your own end as well. Okay, tomorrow we'll learn the parameterization, how we can bound the steps into some transactions. Then we'll discuss about the runtime settings, like,
Sure.
and
Okay.
we'll also see how we can record different flows in the init, actions, and end part, and how we can replay that as well. Okay, so tomorrow we have some basics class. So after this 2 basics class, we'll switch to the advanced topics. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So
Farhad, any doubts?
one last question. Will you
Tell me.
will you cover some JavaScript sessions also, or how it is?
Yeah,
Is it required or not?
we'll learn JavaScript also. We'll have 1 or 2 class for JavaScript as well. Okay.
Okay.
So here the JavaScript plays a very vital role in the TrueClient protocol. So we'll learn some JavaScript. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh,
Farhad, so can we wrap up the sessions? And
yeah,
Yogesh?
sure, yeah, sure. So are we going to look tomorrow? Or?
So tomorrow can we have class? So tomorrow we will have class. Okay. Tomorrow we'll discuss, and after that we'll have class on Monday. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
sure, yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks Farhad and Yogesh for joining the sessions. Thanks for your patience. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.